So this will be a very quick video on due diligence, but probably one of the most important when we post, because of paramount importance, of anything we purchase, of course, is due diligence, regardless whether it's an investment or a car or a house or a partner or country to live in. We do our due diligence. Now, there's some very distinct characteristics that must be in place if you're purchasing rare earths. Otherwise, it's not safe and you'll just lose your money. Now, the first thing, before I say that, I just want to say there's plenty of people out there, and they've been in contact with me many times, who've bought rare earths, on eBay and Amazon and Google, and that's okay. This really doesn't apply to you, but to put it bluntly, then that type of purchase in my mind is you're just sort of a hobbyist, and that's absolutely fine. You probably know the only way you'll ever resell them is to another hobbyist on eBay or Amazon. And you probably know, of course you don't know what the purity levels are, and that no industry buyer will ever, number one, purchase them from you or have any interest because of the smaller amount. So what I'm talking about today is we're an industry supplier. And if we weren't an industry supplier, we couldn't offer investors sort of industrial grade, high value gallium or hafnium or whatever it might be, that can be liquidated to another industry buyer. So I'll just cover the points very, very quickly. So it doesn't matter whether it's BMW or Tesla or Apple computers, they won't purchase rare earths, for computers or for jet engines or rocket engines, unless the chain of custody is intact. And what that means is they will only purchase from industry suppliers. So if you want to liquidate to an industry supplier, you've got to make sure you buy them from an industry supplier. So that's the first one. Do not buy rare earths from anybody unless they're a bona fide industry supplier. And at this moment in time, I can tell you with absolute certainty, we're the only business that we're the only, where you're purchasing from an industry supplier. I know that for a fact. Maybe that might change in the future, but at this moment in time, we are the only one. We're based in Europe, but I'm talking about worldwide. So buy from an industry supplier. The second one is, once you're buying from an industry supplier, you're safe. Why? Because you've got to buy industrial grade raw materials. There's a certain standard, say, for hafnium. Hafnium is in shields for nuclear reactors, rods, jet engines, rockets, computer chips, superconductors. But, the manufacturer of these raw materials, they will only buy industrial grade at certain purity levels. And only an industry supplier would know that. So once you're sort of in the door with an industry supplier, you make sure, probably that you're buying industrial grade hafnium, tellurium, rhenium, praseodymium, whatever it might be. Another caveat there, which is a part of our guarantee, if you will, is when you purchase your raw materials, although you own them, you physically own them, they remain in their original packaging from the producer. Very important. Again, that's chain of custody, because no industry buyer will purchase raw materials, whether it's for a smartphone, computer, medical device. You can see, they're critically needed in very, very important industries. So there's no room for error or purity levels. So it's important to make sure that while you still own them, they remain in the original packaging, which is what we offer our clients. We offer custody. Our clients own the raw materials, but they can store them with us and we keep them in the original packaging. Why? Because they can be at any day immediately liquidated to another industry buyer. Where if they're out of the original packaging, they'd probably have to be retested. And that's just going to cost the investor money. Lastly, the exit. Make sure the exit is in place. And again, it comes back to buying from a bona fide industry supplier. As I mentioned earlier, when you buy from us, you're buying from an industry supplier with more than, nearly in business since 1999, nearly 25 years in business, who also, I'll give you the exact number. We have, last count, we've 2,480 industry buyers in 70 different countries. Not investors, industry buyers, and that's who we will liquidate your raw materials to when you're ready to liquidate. Safely, securely, because the chain of custody is intact and they're still in the original packaging. And as you purchase them from an industry buyer. There's no question on the purity levels analysis reports. So we leave it at that. I hope that helps. Thank you very much.